And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is the Star Chronicles Dallas Cowboy podcast. I'm Troy Hill, and I'm sitting here with Lisa, Kyle, and Ron, a.k.a. the Starstruck fan, here to discuss Dallas Cowboy football. And a horrible performance yesterday as we took a L to the Arizona Cardinals, 28-16. What are your thoughts, Kyle?
Yeah, it was a pretty poor performance. Basically on every aspect, you know what I mean? Special teams, some dumb penalties, you know what I mean? And, defense couldn't stop the run. Offense found no rhythm. Red zone issues popping up his ugly head again. So, yeah, just bad all around. Just a bad game.
Yes, 15 penalties alone in the first half. 10 of them accepted by the Arizona Cardinals. That even puts it in more perspective. How crazy it was on a penalty standpoint. What's your thoughts, Lisa Lee?
Kind of had a bad feeling. I don't know. Nothing was really, like, even after we talked about it last week, I don't know. I just had a gut feeling that, I didn't think it was going to be that bad, but it was just like, it was like nothing could go right, and even the things that did go right didn't end well. I felt like the offense was moving between the 20s. The offense was moving great, and then it was like you get inside it wasn't even just inside the 20. It was inside the 10 four times.
10,
yeah.
And you only get 6 points. Like, I can't. For those of y'all that aren't good at math, you're leaving a lot of numbers. You're leaving a lot of points on the board, off the board, by not. And it's just, I don't know what the hell happened with the defense. Like, it kind of was like, did it give any of y'all like flashbacks to the Jalen Smith era of things?
Yes, it did. Matter of fact, everything except him standing on the sideline like he's done a good job. And smiling and cheesing.
Yeah, and swiping.
Yeah,
swiping down by 20 points. Swiping, yeah.
Swipe. But yeah, it's funny. It's like that 10-yard line is like the ice wall trying to get into Antarctica. It's like ridiculous. What's your thoughts on it, Starstruck?
Yeah, we did speak on it, and that was my only concern. I know Lisa had a concern as well, and I did also. With Dobbs, I said he's very intelligent QB on the last show, and that he's a guy that just not known for making mistakes, and he's pretty accurate and mobile. All the things that for some strange reason it tends to give us problems, no matter what type of quarterback that is, whether you're a Sam Howell or Kyler Murray. The first time we faced him, Jalen Hurts when we faced him as well. It's like QBs that have some accuracy about them, some mobility, and can play mistake-free. They seem to give us issues. And I think one thing I posted on my page today is that, the most disappointing thing about the loss is that it looked very similar to the ones that end our season. And so that's why I was really taken aback by the loss. It's just that because that's how we've seen our season come to an end for the past, few seasons now.
Well, at least they're getting that type of performance out of the way early, if that is the case. So, you never know. It might be a blessing in disguise. And I'm going to be quite frank and honest. I still don't even know who Lou Dobbs is, and I'm putting my foot down on it. I don't know who Dobbs is. After yesterday's game, I still don't know who he is. I refuse to know him. Just talking about playing a perfect game still, I was just shocked that we couldn't get one damn turnover. I just thought that this is kind of like one of those things that's like almost a shoe-in one of our games defensively. What's your thoughts, Kyle?
Yeah, we gotta, I felt, man, I don't know where I'm going with this. The defense just looked not as aggressive yesterday, maybe, and slow to react. And they just seemed all over the place, man. They just couldn't get off blocks. They just were, and it's one of those things where you can't kind of bank on, the defense getting a turnover every single game. So that's why I think it was important for the offense to play well, because some days you're going to need the offense to carry, pick up the slack for the defense. You know what I mean? And and it just nothing seemed to work yesterday, man. The whole operations was out of sync. You know what I mean? Like, it just
Yeah.
once they fell behind, it's like, all right, well, we can run the ball, but clock is running down. We gotta pick up the pace here, and they just didn't seem to even
Mhm.
pick up the pace. There's no such urgency on either side
Yeah.
of the ball, man. Either
Yeah.
side of the ball.
Yeah. It didn't look like it was any sense of urgency at all offensively, especially towards the end of the game. Um, I kind of got like a different vibe from the defense that at the same time, it didn't have a sense of urgency, but then at the same time, it had, like I said, with all these jumping off sides and lining up and
Oh
trying to get the
yeah,
extra
yeah,
jump.
stupid, yeah,
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 I mean, it's like they were kind of had like it's like a multi personality with the defense yesterday.
yeah.
What's your thoughts, Lisa?
Honestly, the whole day felt very much to me like they bought into the hype. That they started listening to the media, and it was like, well, all we have to do is show up, and we're going to win by 30. Because it was just, I mean, it was like uncharacteristic, like especially with the defense I'm talking about. Like Leighton Vander Esch, I mean, I'll be the first to admit he's been playing really well, probably the last year and a half. Like he has moments, but like I felt yesterday, like he was um like he was out of his lane, and like Jaron Curse was like taking horrible angles, and then
Yeah.
Yes.
like when he would like the one, I was like, you're not even trying to tackle him, like you're
Mhm.
just running right beside him. And it was like it was, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist at all, but it was like, let's see if we can get down and come back. It's like, let's use this as a preseason game, and it just felt very undisciplined.
Yeah.
Excuse me, but it went back to like the most penalized team in the universe ever.
Yes.
And just sloppy. It's not like these were just like terrible discipline. It wasn't even like it was, you can't blame the referees. I think there was I think the
Yes.
DPI on CD in the end zone was clear DPI in my opinion, but you can't blame it. I don't know. It was awful. It just felt.
Yeah, Dak should have got rid of that ball earlier.
Well, but even still, like I feel like they're going to call that probably 99 times out of 100, and it's just the difference is too. CD can't go into a play looking for that. You know what I mean? Like he kind of gave up on the play too, expecting he would get it, and it just, I don't know. It just felt very. I don't know. It was not fun to watch, and I don't know. It just felt very. It's like little kids who just believe it's like they came in and it was like, oh well, we just have to show up and that's it. It's automatic win.
Yeah, of course, I totally agree with you. And to the fans that are blaming this loss on the refs or the officiating, making comments like that proves to me that you don't watch any type of football. Because the refs are not telling the players where to line up. They're not forcing people to jump off sides. They're not doing all this ridiculous stuff. That's just a dumb excuse that we like to sit up there and make up, saying that our team, the game's rigged against us and the referees. That was 100% Cowboys losing that game yesterday.
Well, and I think it also goes back to coaching, because it was clear that particular refereeing crew, they were very ticky-tack. So once they've established that they're going to call it tight, then the coaches got to settle it down and say, okay, listen, like on defense, especially Micah pushes the envelope, and that's part of what makes him great. He pushes the envelope a lot on when he jumps, where he lines up. Okay, cool. But if you find out that you have a crew that's going to be that ticky-tack, then it's the coach's responsibility to say, okay, back it up a smidge.
You have to tap the brakes a little bit. You're right.
And just be aware of your surroundings. Like, okay, cool. They're going to call it, and the flip side of that, like for that thing with CD, okay, they're calling the defensive penalties ticky-tack, but it just, because there was a couple of the those offsides that I was like, I don't really see it, but okay, but so
I don't know. I think it was close enough where it could be argued if someone's looking at it.
Sure.
But I mean, I don't know. I mean, let's just go ahead and dive into Dak Prescott, his performance. I personally don't think he did bad. I think a lot of play selection that was called was crap in some instances. No, I wouldn't have thrown a ball into 3 men at the end of the game. Better decision would have been to throw the ball out of bounds. I don't know if he realized that they would still have one more down left, that they would have did that or not. Again, it doesn't matter if it was a touch. If it would have been a touchdown or not, it wouldn't have mattered. We still would have been losing the game. Making that debate about that is like us talking about the catch if Dez caught it. It doesn't even matter if Dez caught it or not, because that wasn't even the game. That was just going into the NFC championship. That wasn't putting us in the Super Bowl. So, I mean, I think another thing that our fans like to do. They forget about everything else. Like one glaring thing that Dak does, which is kind of getting ridiculous and kind of getting old. What's your thoughts, Starstruck?
Well, you do have some fans, and I mean, that score was closer than you think, Troy, because it was 28-16.
Do we have Rock and Jock points and stuff where there's a bonus point that I'm not aware of?
No, you scored.
Okay. Are we giving up 7.4 yards on the ground where the defense is having problems? In the past, when we have 2 minutes left in the game and stuff, do we end up losing all that time for some stupid mistake or penalty that the defense gets? So why would I believe that we would have a chance to come back after scoring a touchdown?
Because we did it against the Falcons on an onside kick one season. So it's always
the watermelon kick. Yes. Yeah.
Because they scored a touchdown, that makes it 23. They go for 2. You're down 3. You kick an onside. Anything happens in the last couple of minutes, but you can't throw that pick. So I mean, there's a chance. So
I mean, well, it would have been a better chance. It would have been a better chance they would have went for the 3 instead of going for 4th and 4 for no reason earlier.
Exactly.
But I mean, it's all woulda, coulda, shoulda at this point.
Exactly.
but I mean, what else you think about that, Ron?
Yeah, but other than that, I mean, we look at the game from the totality. This was terrible. Like Lisa was saying earlier, she made the comment and I laughed and chuckled because that's exactly what I was thinking about. I was like, this is the dress rehearsal we didn't get in the preseason. It's like we didn't play anybody. So this is a game that we should have played in I guess week 3 that everybody was hoping that we should have had players out there, and we went right on into week 1. So this is the game, I guess, that we get back as a dress rehearsal and get ready for next week. But I just sent something in our little chat message there. I saw on someone's page where they were just trying to put, what do you think the percentage of who gets the full blame as far as for yesterday? And I said they had I think it was 4 different entities that they were trying to blame it upon. They had the defense, McCarthy red zone, Dak, and injuries. Well, my response was it should have been 25% each, because I think they all kind of had equal share.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. I think that's fair.
Even the injuries, do they not have a little bit of a suspect feel around them? And when I say that, I mean like everybody, like franchise wide, almost made this out to be a cupcake, because you didn't hear anything. I mean, you heard that Zach's ankle, and then the same day Trayvon got hurt was when Tyler's hamstring was acting up. But everybody on all the channels were like, they're going to be fine. Even Zach was on his little weekly show on the Fan, and he was like, oh yeah, it's just, got rolled up on a little bit, but I'm gonna be good. Like everything was good, maybe like questionable. But then all of a sudden, boom, you wake up Sunday morning, it's like, they're out.
I didn't know what the hell was going on. I'm like, what?
And it felt very like we're resting players to me. It had that feel from the beginning, because I was like, what are you doing? And then Tyron was dressed, but he didn't start.
Yeah, did he even play?
No.
So he doesn't need to have shit on.
Exactly.
I don't think he played at all. I don't think he played a single down.
Yeah, he just could have been off on the sideline with everybody else with their sweatsuit outfits on and stuff. He didn't even need to be, because that gave me a glimpse of a feeling of hope. It was like, well, maybe he'll go out there and settle things, because it looked like, to me, from my perspective, it looked like Dak was a little more pressured than normal.
Of course.
Oh, yeah,
and
definitely.
that's to be expected. Like,
yeah.
I'll give those guys credit, though, we had a hell of a day on the ground, but you can't just only run, especially when you're playing from behind.
Exactly. And there was times where people were just not open.
Yeah.
At all.
I mean, it was ridiculous. What's your thoughts on that, Kyle?
Yeah, I was like you guys, I was completely caught off guard by the injuries of the guys not playing, and then it came down, like I said, same thing. The Tyron's going to dress but not play. And then why is he out there dressing if he's not going to play? And it's funny because after every freaking penalty, they kept panning to him on the sideline. I'm like, what are they doing here? You know what I mean? And just like, I had
Like
such a
he,
bad,
like he was going to come out like a natural of blocking and shit. And
yeah, and it just,
it's nothing.
and I just had such a bad feeling about it. And like Chuma Adoga, he was serviceable at guard the past 2 games, but he's awful at tackle. He sucks at
Hot
tackle,
garbage. Hot
and
garbage.
and it just, and like I said, Dak had pressure in his face all game. I felt like the running game was good, but man, the pass protection was just not there, and it just a lot of the throws were rushed, and I give the guys credit for hanging in there. I mean, I think that Bass, I think he'll be good, but man, Adoga, he sucks so bad. He at tackle, he cannot play tackle. He is terrible.
Yeah, I just don't get. I mean, and like I said, the running game. I thought the running game went well. Actually,
It was serviceable. Huh?
I thought Michael Gallup had a pretty good game.
It was like $180 on the ground, wasn't it?
Yeah, something like that. Pollard had 122 yards.
Well, I know we gave up $180 in the first half and stuff against their running back. I know our defense wanted to give that up for some reason, but
yeah,
I mean, it was just if you go down, if you go down to the red zone 10 times in the 10 times in the second half, you only put up 6 points. I mean,
No, 4 times in the whole game. You were inside the 10.
Oh yeah, and that's just not going to cut the mustard. And
so for those of y'all not good at math, 4 times 7 is 28, and you only came out with 6. There's 22, and you lost by 12. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, the other thing about Dak is, and he said it in his post-game presser, was like, some of those, I think what limits him in the red zone now is he's not a running threat. He won't just take off and run very often. Like, remember, like in 2016, like he would run.
Yeah, he wouldn't even think. Yeah, he wouldn't even think about it.
And I get it. You got your ankle in the wood chipper a few years ago, but like, it's like even on the 4th and 4, like I feel like he could run some of these, like, but he hesitates for a half a second, and then the play, then he's got no shot. Whereas if the minute he turns, he would just run up field. I feel like he could get it. I think inside the 10.
I agree. I think it's close. I think it's pretty damn close, though. I mean, I understand. Agree exactly where you're coming from, but I think it's gonna get to where he needs to go, and he's gonna going forward or he's gonna get pushed the hell back. It's like that damn close. It seems like.
But you gotta try it to at least make the defense feel like there's that option.
Yeah, because in that interception, if you got a couple people thinking he might run, that might free up the guy over the top that he was actually trying to hit. So I just don't know. I mean, like I said, there's enough blame to go around, but I just don't feel it's fair to blame it on Dak at the end because all the other things led up to being put in a position where you're trying to force something to happen. This is like the normal thing that Dallas Cowboy quarterbacks, even with Romo, we've been through. We've been put in a position where you're trying to come back and you're trying to take chances, and then, I mean, shit, it's just what happens. What's your thoughts, Starstruck?
It's tough right now. I said it was too soon yesterday to just sit on yesterday about the quarterback, but I've got some concern. Lisa brought up again a point. I don't know if she's like just examined my brain before we got on this, telling a lot of things saying. It concerns me right now. I know it's week 3 going into 4, but that whole said with Dak, I've got to see more. If I can understand when he was getting sacked, there's nothing you can do with that. You're running QB rollouts. You're going to run right into smack into a guy. You're not going to be able to get rid of the ball that quick. But on plays, like you said, those 4th and 2s, 4th and 4, 3, he's going to have to put his foot down and go. Because I watch other teams. I watch to see, games. I'm a football guy. And I'm seeing some of these little younger, more mobile guys, even Dobbs, just putting their foot, and they're just taking off. And I saw Dak on that one place. He did escape, very Romo-like. But his feet, looked like he was running with buckets on as he was
Mhm.
trying to fight for the extra yard. I'm like, that does not look like the mobile Dak I remember. And I know he's got some age on him and he's got some skill. But that concerns me from a mobility standpoint that we don't have that as a weapon if pressure gets on him and he needs to get out of the pocket and go. And that's one of those things that people will be looking on the sideline for Trey Lance, even if he's not
100%. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, there's people already saying, Trey Lance needs to start now. Again, I don't know. I mean,
no.
I don't get what me personally. I can, knowing our fan base, I can see fan base making saying stuff like that because they have absolutely zero common sense. But and the reality is, you're going to have the absolute same exact thing that you already got right now. It's just going to be like 10 times worse than what you think. So if you think Dak is bad, if you really feel in the heart of hearts that Dak is bad and the reason why we won't ever win anything, wait till you go ahead and see Trey Lance out there, friend. And see.
Well, and I don't even think you could almost throw in a package that has him in it, like on occasion, kind of like the Saints did and do with what's his face.
Yeah.
I can't think of his name right now, but where you just start throwing some into the mix. Say it again.
Taysom Hill.
Yeah. But like you throw that into the mix to where you have another option, whether you use it or not. But you're gonna have then. It's just like Troy said earlier. Then you make the linebackers have to stay home a little bit more versus dropping back in coverage, and then you've got all your receivers are covered. Like I don't know, but like you just put yourself behind an 8 ball by losing this game yesterday because this was one you should have won. So now, if you're going to end up back, where we thought you would, now you're going to have to beat somebody that you probably shouldn't. You know what I mean? Like you would have to slip up and beat the 49ers in a couple weeks, or you're going to have to now beat Philly twice, or you're going to have to, now this one will come back and bite you in the butt later on because
Yep, these are those get out of jail free wins where you got that card. You better win that damn game. Win the games you're supposed to win, because some of those games that are going to be tough, you lose it. It might not sting that much or whatever, but these games you have to win that you should win. You need to take advantage of those.
And I'm really confused by the first 3 games in total because more specifically about the opponents, because I thought that the Cardinals were on paper looked to be the worst of the worst, the worst of the 3.
Yeah.
But now it makes me go, I mean, the Jets defense is better than Arizona's, but like, are the Jets and Giants really that much worse than the Cardinals? Or I can't, this is why I think it bothers me so much because I'm an accountant. I like absolutes. Like, are we good or are we crap? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if the first 2 weeks were just crazy anomalies, or I don't know if yesterday was the anomaly. And
the funny thing is, I would say that, well, let's just see what they do next week. And you would think that they would play even better next week, right? Because they're figuring things out. Speaking of Arizona, but no, they could get the brakes beat off of them next week, and then we're gonna be back to what? We're gonna be sort of thinking next week, like, well, what the hell happened with that? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean, like I said, they have a tendency of making teams like this look like they're like the heir apparent of winning the next Super Bowl. Go ahead, Kyle. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I'm with Lisa. Like, that's why Micah said today, no, you're not winning the Super Bowl in October or September. You know what I mean? Like, it's the one thing I like. For instance, like, look at the Ravens. What are the Ravens? They're 2-1. They lost to the Colts yesterday. You know what I mean? What are the Cowboys? They're 2-1 and lost to the Cardinals. You know what I mean? Like, half the league right now is 2-1 or 1-2. Most, you know what I mean? Like, one win separates those 2 records. You know what I mean? It's 3 weeks into the season. So that's why I said I'm not getting too over like down about this or too high about this. You know what I mean? It's like look at all the teams on the league right now. Like Jacksonville, they lost to the Texans. You know what I mean?
But the one team that you missed that means the most right now for us could potentially be 3-0 after tonight.
Yeah, there's no question they're going to be 3-0.
Yeah, but I'm just saying
It's 22-3.
But I'm saying most of the teams out there. You know what I mean?
True.
Most of the teams out there. You know what I mean?
I get what you're saying. Mm-hmm.
That's why it's so early. Like it's the same thing with these college rankings. Like how could a team be 2-1 and be in the top 25 and get blown out? You know what I mean? Like it's just it's so early. It's so early.
Yeah. Speaking of college football, just briefly and stuff, you notice how it's like they're kind of doing the Colorado team kind of getting the Cowboy fan base type of treatment and stuff where they're already getting their
Exactly.
underneath the bus.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
Isn't that and I would think together that probably like a lot of those fans are Cowboys fans, so it's not surprising at all. Our fan base is terrible in that regard.
It's Deion. A lot of them are Deion fans, so
huh?
It's Deion, so yeah, a lot of your Cowboys fan base is going to be on Deion. Yeah. If they were a Deion fan, they're probably on board.
So, I mean, we got this next game coming up here.
And we did. Just wanted to interject one thing.
Sure.
Up about, you're not going to, if you figure out what happened on yesterday, congratulations, because there's no science to it. Because the Giants, who we were saying that are the Giants and Jets, that much worse or whatever, the Giants were down 20-0 to the Cardinals and came back the week before. Mm-hmm. So if you figure it out, you let me know. But I just put that in here. The Giants were down 20-0 and they came back and won against the Cardinals.
Yeah, Lisa, I know you're an accountant and all, but you might want to change your career if you really want to try and figure this stuff out.
Well, honestly, no. Like I truly do believe that it was the whole mentality of like, well, we beat the Giants by 40, and they came back on this team, and we scored if the Giants can score 28 unanswered, and we beat the Giants by 40, then easy math, we're going to win by 70. Like and
it didn't add up.
No, at all. And it's like I feel like the effort just. I will even I'm going to pull Micah out of this discussion because I don't feel like I feel like he gets hurt every third play or acts like he's hurt every third play. But his effort to me, my eye test is always there. His effort is always there. Mm-hmm. But like, he's one person. Like it felt so slow. And like, I'm with Ron. Like when Dak tried to run and then that one where he did get the 12 yards or whatever to get the first down, it was a slow 12. And it's like, what are you doing?
It was like a pinball in a pinball machine.
Yeah.
It looked very bionic man-like running and stuff back in the day. It did look like that. I agree.
It's like that old Chris Berman fumbling, bumbling, stumbling. Like, that's what it felt like. It felt like it took 18 seconds to go 12 yards. Like, I don't know. I hope. And it's like, once you have a game, you watch a game like you did yesterday, it's like, I tend to go to that negative space where it's like, well, crap, we're not going to win another game all year. And I know that's drastic and that's dramatic and I get it. But like, until they prove me wrong and how I felt when that game, I mean, I felt that way before it even started. And then when it started and I was like I had been working yesterday and I came in here and I was like, how are we already down by 3?
Yeah. And it was looking real sluggish. It was looking real sluggish, wasn't it?
Yeah. And just.
Well, I got a question for you guys. This is a true false question and you can elaborate more if you wish. Diggs the reason why the defense didn't perform well, true or false? I say false. Okay, I got a false too. We got 3 falses, and we're waiting for Ron, aka Starstruck Fan.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, explain.
He played a part in it. I just don't know to what degree. If it was a high level degree, probably not. But it was a degree.
I just can't. My only reasoning why I say no is like we talked about yesterday that I've seen games where we're getting blown the hell up. And Diggs was in the lineup, and we were getting gashed for yards and rushing. So I don't know. So, I mean, I would have to say no, it was no impact.
I can kind of see what Ron means in that because it really could be, I mean, because the way they were throwing to Deron Bland, his side in the beginning. And I think once they got a couple of successful passes on that side, that opened up the run game, honestly.
Yeah.
But then they started throwing right at Stephon, and he was getting lit up too. That's what I mean. It was so many anomalies across the board yesterday. I just don't understand.
One wide receiver. I don't even know who the other guy was on the other side of Hollywood Brown. I don't know who the other guy was. All I saw was Hollywood Brown.
Yep, Hollywood Hulk Hogan
on him, and he still had a day. We had two different guys on him.
Bland's performance overall, was it as bad as we think it is, or is it just? I don't think it was god awful horrible. I don't think it was Anthony Brown out there or anybody else.
To me, it looked like he was overthinking in the beginning. Like
and he settled a little. It seems
he did, and I mean, he got turned around a couple times. But okay, that's going to happen to anybody. I mean, I think with this fan base, especially, us tend to look at things, like you said, in very isolated moments. So like the one pick from Dak is all anybody remembers. Okay. People don't look at the totality of that game. And I argued with people yesterday about Dak being the long-term, Dak's not our biggest problem, but I don't know that he's the long-term solution. You're paying him like he is, but I don't know that he's it. Like, I don't know. And honestly, this may be why they haven't extended him again. But like, it's just there's so many weird things that like, you can't say because Duran had two like where he got turned around that, okay, well, that's it. He's, because you forget that Trayvon last year gave up a ton of yards, but it's high risk, high reward. And Jerry flat out said it on the radio last week when he got hurt. It was like, well, you're not going to maybe get the high turnover ratios, but you're going to give up less yards.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Bland. Like I said, I don't think Bland was god awful. It's just funny, when you go down your social media feeds and you see people critiquing him that couldn't cover anybody on any profession, any type of athletic level, from pros all the way to Pop Warner. And they're sort of talking about how they're covering somebody. To me, that also boggles my mind, but that's whatever.
But I mean, but you got to think about it like in terms of me specifically. I've never played a down of football, and I have lots of opinions.
True.
I've watched probably 3.9 billion man hours of football, but I've never played it down. There's a lot of stuff I still don't know.
But you know what the difference is? The difference is you never will sit there and say you could walk out there and line up on a receiver running towards you and cover him. That's what you see. There's people that do that crap every single week. They could not cover anything. And then being a quarterback is not easy. I mean, I had a little experience back in the day. I think Ron had experience. That's not easy. No. It's not easy at all. So I mean, I'm glad I got like a little bit taller. They moved me up where it was like made my life way easier. But yeah, I wouldn't wish cornerback on anybody in the damn world. They tried to put that on my son one year. I'm like, nope. Because it's rough.
Oh yeah.
It's just about as rough as being it's about just about as rough as being a quarterback.
Yeah.
As far as the criticism that you have to deal with, and you gotta be sharp. I mean, that's just another one of those positions where you gotta know all the plays, where everybody's supposed to be, where you're supposed to be. You gotta know it more so than almost anybody else on that defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, what makes it easier, and I'm glad you said that, is for Diggs, we see how he plays. Is I actually had the opportunity to do that because I started off as an offensive guy, played inside. I think they called it flanker back then. Now they
I remember that.
But and then I ended up switching to defensive back, and it was so much easier for me because I knew how receivers would position themselves. Watching how people line up, I knew every route on the route tree. So it was like I knew what to anticipate, and if they're lined up, closer to the line, if they're out wide, type of things to look for. So I can see why Diggs has an advantage at time and plays the way that he does, and it did make me play aggressive because I would know the tree.
And I mean, like I said. Even the athleticism of that position only get you so damn far. You can be faster than everybody else. You can do all those things, but you can still be out of position with all the talent in the world. It is crazy. I mean, wasn't wishing on anybody. But let's see. Is there anything else on the defensive side that we would like to discuss? Oh, well, let's talk about just Mike McCarthy and the play calling. because we haven't touched that offensively. I mean, what was the last series? All run plays, basically. I think we've all in agreement that we wanted to do more running, and we thought that we've always like tried to back up away from the running. We started like passing and stuff, but now I think we don't have a proper balance of it right now. Or now we're at a point where we're trying to run too much. What's your thoughts, Lisa?
Yeah, I mean, and I think Dak's almost going to the other extreme from, all the criticism he took about those interceptions last year, because I feel like even on the interception, like you said, throw it out of the back of the end zone and you live to play another play. And there are some times where I feel like he's almost overthinking the play and just not going on instincts. And, I was thinking about that today. I heard something on the radio this morning about that very thing. Like, do you want conservative, no interception, or do you want a gunslinger that's gonna give me the gunslinger all day? Because with his interceptions last year, okay, sure, there were some of them, weren't necessarily his fault or whatever. But I want the high risk, high reward.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that. Do you think it's something just kind of like in his head?
Yeah.
Just imagine this guy, because he goes out there and he performs, right? And he might have a mistake here or there. Then all of a sudden he goes home, he's looking on his iPhone or iPad or whatever, and he's going through the news and stuff. Josh Allen throws 3 picks. So-and-so does this. So-and-so does that. But they ain't getting criticism like Dak. And to me, that would literally start pissing me off.
Well, I don't care how mentally strong you are and how much therapy you've done and how many sports psychologists you've talked to. You are a human at the end of the day, and it is going, whether you will ever admit it or not, that has to get under your skin. Mm-hmm. And especially the face of this franchise. He is paid, and I tell people this all the time, he is paid what he is paid because of what he can do in front of a microphone and how he can manage all the ancillary crap that comes with being the quarterback of specifically this team. Mm-hmm. Quarterback position is hard across the league. No question. It is 1,000% harder for this franchise. And mostly because of the asinine stuff that comes out of the owner and GM's mouth. Like, he writes checks and expects his quarterback to cash them a lot of the time, just from the circus, the circus aspect of it. Like,
and you're right too. Even on the circus aspect, I think trading for Trey Lance was a stupid move also, because that adds more to the circus. So, I mean, the owner does have part of that. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, no. I mean, that's just it. Like, it's just, I don't know. I want him to win so bad because he is a great human. Yeah. But I'm kind of like, I'm teetering right now, because while I think he's not the worst, he's not in that bottom tier, and you don't need a top 2 or top 3 quarterback to win. I get it. But you have to have somebody that's, I don't know. I just feel like, and this didn't, me feeling like he was hesitating and kind of overthinking, that didn't just start with yesterday's game. It was in both games before yesterday. So
absolutely. So you're teetering. Ron's teetering. I'm going to tell you exactly where I'm at. I'm not teetering, and I'm gonna explain why. I'm defending this man because I feel like he gets a bun rap still compared to every other quarterback in the NFL. I mean, I say, if you're going to complain about my quarterback and an interception here or there, I want you to have the same energy for the Joe Burrows and all these other guys in the world that keep on messing up all this in the last couple of weeks, and nobody has said jack crap. And that's all I'm asking, because I think it's just ridiculous, because it starts blurring the line of football. If you're not going to complain about him, well, why aren't you going to complain about them then?
Because bottom line, this team, and it's the same thing. People were going in on Shannon Sharp today because he did a video about the Cowboys losing, and people were like, your Broncos gave up 70 and your Ravens lost to the Colts. And I made a comment to somebody. I was like, well, the Ravens and the Broncos don't get clicks. Talking about the Cowboys does. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to, because if Dak Prescott was not the quarterback of the Cowboys and he was doing the things he did last year, nobody talks about it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, what's your thoughts, Kyle? Are you teetering or where are you at?
No, I mean, you know, Lisa's right. You play for the Dallas Cowboys. You were the most high profile, of all, probably of all. You're up with the Lakers and the Yankees. You know what I mean? Like, if he was playing for the Titans, no one would probably care. But this is a guy who, he had down years, and then he's had, 2017 was not a good year for him. But then, 2021, he had 37 touchdowns. You know what I mean? And 10 interceptions. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
he I don't think it affects him. Like, I really don't. Like, this guy is a leader. You know what I mean? And I think he has the respect of all of his teammates. And I don't know if you guys read that article about he had he took a bunch of players out and did some Marine training, SEALs training, bonding unit with all the guys. And no one's talking about that, but he did that this offseason. You know what I mean? And I just, I don't know. The interception thing, like I said, he's over it. I think it's never been a deal with him. It's just, well, he's right. It gets clicks. You know what I mean? Like, it's
true.
It does. Should we teeter on Lamar Jackson? Dak has more playoff wins than Lamar Jackson does. I bet Dak has less turnover. Lamar Jackson fumbles every game. Yeah. He didn't throw for a touch. Lamar Jackson did not throw a touchdown pass yesterday. And for all the people that want Dak to run more, you got two rookies who are not playing right now because one's got a concussion and one's injured. One was running for a touchdown against who did the Colts play last week? He got hit. Jacksonville. He got knocked on his ass, hit the ground, and that's fine when you got a 20-year-old rookie on a rookie contract. But when you got a 30-year-old veteran who's getting $40 million,
it's different.
I'm going to defend it. It's different. You know what I mean? Because the Colts are a rebuilding team. They got no Super Bowl hopes this year. Dallas does. You know what I mean? Like, I can't have Dak taking shots like that. You know what I mean? And
true.
We look at Justin Fields last year. He didn't finish the season because he was hurt. Jalen Hurts missed several games because he's hurt because they're running quarterbacks. You know what I mean? And it was all good when they're on the rookie contracts. But now that Hurts is getting paid, Jalen Hurts is a bum. I mean, not Jalen Hurts. Justin Fields is a bum. But I know you gotta protect these investments.
Yeah,
Burrow, you know what I mean?
Burrow getting paid, they still ain't addressed their offensive line, so figure that out. How you think he's when it comes down to it, what do you think he's gonna do when it comes to all that money?
Yeah.
So,
but I believe in Dak. I do. I think he's a good quarterback. The guy's shown he could throw the ball. I mean, he can throw the ball. I mean, we act like he doesn't throw touchdown passes. I don't know. It's a bad narrative, and I think it's lazy on the national media's part. I've been saying it all year. It's a lazy narrative, you know what I mean?
To me, it's just ridiculous because I still think. I mean, today's conversation on those type of shows, which I don't watch, but I'm going to be objective, and I'm going to be coy and think that they will want to talk about a team giving up 70 points more so than anything else happening in professional football. But then again, I'm being gullible,
Well, the problem is in this day and age, if you're not Patrick Mahomes, you suck. You know what I mean? Like, know what I mean? Because that's the problem. We live in this day and age where everyone is comparing everyone to Patrick Mahomes. If you're not Patrick Mahomes, you suck. And it is what it is. You know what I mean? That's why I don't buy into it.
You take away the victor or the Super Bowl, a couple Super Bowls and stuff. Patrick Mahomes, what do you got? You basically got Dak Prescott because he makes mistakes and shit too.
Yeah, they all. Yeah. I mean, the Chiefs got to the Lions week 1. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
True, and the world wasn't on fire and stuff then.
Exactly.
Side note: Des Bryant's got a new TV show. He's going to be on Special Forces or some crap.
I saw that.
So my question is, who's going to wake him up for this shit? Because he couldn't get to practice. Cole. Did they also sign Cole Beasley to get him up to take him to the said show?
It's already been filmed. It's already in the can.
It's already in the can.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's already been filmed.
I guarantee he was late at least once or twice. Anyways, I guarantee it. Game observation. I think they force people to stand next to Kyler Murray. They're a little bit shorter than he is to make him look bigger on camera. Because he was taller than everybody else. He was standing next to the whole game. I'm like,
I've stood beside him in person I've stood beside him within 10 feet. He is tiny.
Yeah, we'd have been giants standing next to him. But but I think they intentionally just find the shorts. Well, hey, stand next to this guy so you can look taller on camera. Well, we do have a game next week against New England Patriots. Everyone's saying that they miss Zeke, or some Cowboy fans are anyway. So we welcome Zeke back to the stadium. What do you guys think of this game, Starstruck?
That's a good question.
And Zeke did get 80 yards this week on 13 carries or so.
I don't see that happening. Unfortunately, Zeke's coming in at a bad time. Timing is bad right now. We're coming off of a bad game. I think Dak bounces back. We're home. And unfortunate for Zeke, the defense got embarrassed last week, and I don't think they're going to let that happen again this week. So unfortunate for him. I don't have a problem with thinking the Cowboys pull this one off, and that they're going to be all over Zeke.
Did you think the defense will give up 2.25 to Arizona?
I don't think they're going to do it 2 weeks in a row.
Okay.
That's how I'll respond to that.
Nice.
What's your thoughts, Lisa? Any concerns about this game?
Why, sure. You know me, I'm on the edge all the time. I wanted to go to the game. I was actually looking for tickets before last week because I love Zeke so much. And I just hope the fans give him I hope they give him a warm welcome, this and that. I wanted to go. And after yesterday, I was like, absolutely not. I am not paying good money do you know if I lived in Arizona and I had paid money to go to that game, I would be mad as a hornet.
Yeah, I know a few people that live there paid for that game.
There was a lot of people there too. There's a lot
of Cowboys fans. Yeah.
They said that when the Cardinals took the field, they were booing them. There was that many Cowboy fans there.
Yeah, Arizona's not that far from LA, and so there was a lot.
Yeah,
a lot of the cuckoos, magoos drove down to Arizona.
Yeah,
I just think
how many fight videos and stuff you think from the LA crowd that showed up and stuff to that game?
I didn't see any this week.
I'm amazed.
Yeah, not yet.
Yeah, because they like to fight each other and shit. So every time that side of the fan base comes traveling along somewhere, they always want to fight. But what's your thoughts, Kyle, on this upcoming game? Zeke Elliott is returning, and he needs to feed.
Hi, you know my thoughts on Zeke Elliott. I can't. He's always annoyed me. Maybe just because that pick was a terrible pick, and that contract was the worst contract in football history, basically. But I don't know, man. I agree with Ron in the fact that I can't see this defense laying another dud like that 2 weeks in a row. I can't see Dan Quinn allowing that to happen. But at the same time, I think Belichick's a good enough coach that once he sees blood in the water, he'll expose it. You know what I mean? If there's one coach that could do it, see something and take advantage of it, it's Belichick. You know what I mean? So that's why. I'm like half on Ron's side and half on Lisa's side, because I just feel like if Dallas had won last week, I'd be like, you know what? They're playing the Patriots. They're not that good. You know what I mean? Mac Jones is not a very good quarterback. The Patriots don't have much going for them, but they got exposed last week, and I think, like I said, there's one coach that could capitalize on that. It's Belichick. You know what I mean? But to Ron's point, I hope Dan Quinn, they stay in that film room, they break it down, and they fix it. You know what I mean? That's all I can hope for. You know what I mean? Because they can't let that happen again. You know what I mean? That was embarrassing. The running game, that was embarrassing.
I don't know, the way you just described all this shit, Kyle. I'm not gonna lie, you got me terrified now.
I just,
you got. I wasn't worried at all, but you're like exposing. If there's any coach in the NFL that could do it, he's gonna expose them, and not only that, he's gonna expose them to the whole NFL, just ruining our rest of our season. That's how I interpreted the whole thing you just said.
No. If it was a team like the Tennessee Titans, I would have no issues with it. But it's Belichick. You know what I mean? That's all. You know what I mean? He's arguably the greatest coach of all time. So I don't know.
Had we beaten the Cardinals last week, I would have been more concerned this week facing the Patriots. Had we won, I would have thought we would have walked into this game with the way we walked into last week. I would have felt we'd have walked
because we would have been looking ahead already to San Francisco.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You guys are right. Maybe this is a blessing in disguise.
Maybe, but I'm not gonna lie. Last night I was laying in bed. I was still mad, and I was trying to go to sleep, and then I did fall asleep, and then my upstairs neighbors, I guess, had a kid that had done a line of coke or something because he was running around. God. Not Jesus. Really, but like he was running around I'm like, screaming.
What type of neighborhood you live in?
I know.
He was running around screaming at like 11 o'clock. And so then I was awake, and then I'm laying there thinking about the game, and I'm like, holy crap. Like, if we struggled with James Conner and whoever the other one is, what in the cornbread hell are we going to do with Christian McCaffrey and Debo?
Mm-hmm.
You talk about the stuff nightmares are made of. That's it.
Yeah.
I had some concerns of seeing how we got put out the playoffs, that the 49ers, they didn't fix that? Okay. Bet.
Yeah, and you talk about a strategist. Kyle Shanahan will just be like, okay, he'll be like this to the receivers, to Ayuk and to Kittle and all them, and be like, okay, fellas, this is not your day. We're going to run it up the gut until they make us stop. Like, that's, and why wouldn't they?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know. No, I mean, I think the Cowboys are going to win, but
so now you got three. Now you got three people are going to be out wide. You got McCaffrey's going to probably go in that slot. Debo can go out wide, and you got Ayuk. And we've got
I'll tell you something. They're not gonna throw passes, Ron. They're not gonna throw passes till the second quarter because they're gonna run. And I mean,
but I know we're getting ahead.
Yeah.
You still got to take care of these Patriots.
Oh, yeah, the Patriots. Oh, we're gonna win. I'm not worried. I mean, my job and responsibility of this show is trying to talk people off of a cliff, and now I'm just as nervous as everybody else. I don't like this feeling, Lisa.
Come on over to the edge. It's scary.
I don't want to be on the edge.
It's scary, but exciting.
I don't need that type of excitement in my life.
But McCarthy's going to bring his extra playbook this week. He's not going to.
Yeah, okay.
Time, so we should see Turpin and Deuce Vaughn and body back this week.
Well, that's one thing I didn't quite understand neither. Why are we not mixing it up with those guys and stuff? We're getting down to the red zone. You know, and you could pick a run play and stuff if you're going to pick one that's designed to gain more than 3 yards and stuff.
Yeah, the one like
their play selection was just stupid there.
Like the wide receiver that ran for 40-something yards on us.
Yeah, so I don't get it. But anyways, you got any final words to the people this evening, Lisa?
I want it on record. I'm on the ledge. I don't have a good feeling about this coming up game. So I just want that on the record. I really hope for the best, but that yesterday, it shook me to my core.
Oh, Lord.
Yes. Happy Monday. Be blessed.
What do you have, Ron?
Nope, I already said it. I don't see it. I don't see it. I give credit to Belichick, but at the end of the day, he doesn't have Brady and all those other guys that could. Mac Jones is a conservative, good quarterback too. He's not mobile, but he pays attention to what his coach says. So I do believe they're going to try to. But I just think the Cowboys, out of pride of what happened, they're just going to they're going to bring the heat. They are. And I think the Jets gave the Patriots some trouble. But, they're going to bring the heat on Mac Jones.
Okay, I hope you're correct. Kyle, final words.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not on the ledge as much as Lisa is, but I mean, I get it. I know. Oh my God, she is shook. I mean, Jesus, I don't know. I mean, it's one loss. This team wasn't going to go 17-0. You know what I mean? And it happens every year. They lose to a team they should beat. Every team, it happens to every team. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Like I said, I think they'll right the ship. You know what I mean? clearly they know they got to work on the run game. I think this week they'll focus on that because I think that's what Belichick will probably focus on. And it's not going to be I don't think they're going to steamroll the Patriots. I mean, I'm concerned, but overall, this is a better roster. We got to hope McCarthy just calls better plays. You know what I mean? They're just terrible in the red zone right now, and they got to get better in the red zone. They got to get better.
Okay, well, I think the Cowboys are going to pull this out, but if they don't, I guarantee you guys next week I will be sitting in that vehicle next to Lisa with the seatbelts on, just like that old Aerosmith video. Yeah. And we're going to crash this thing into a brick wall and stuff because we're both going to be living on the edge. Damn it! At this point, going further,
and then the brick wall is the 49ers.
Oh God!
Exactly.
Zeke had 16 carries for 80 yards, 5 yards a carry last week on the Jets.
Yeah.
I'm not impressed. He had 13 yards the week before. I'm really not impressed. I mean,
I'm not either. I still don't think the defense is going to allow him to run.
Yeah, I agree.
They put up 15 points on the Jets, so I don't know. I think our defense is going to fire off on him.
Well, they don't do the Salvation Army donations till November, right?
Yep. Yeah, well, no pedal for him. No pedal.
If he runs up down our throats, we'll have to worry about him hopping into one of those and stuff on Sunday, because that would really piss me off. But anyways, that's all we got this evening. We'd like to thank you guys for listening into our program. If you guys do have questions, don't hesitate to send us an email at tsc@DallasCowboyPodcast@gmail.com. On behalf of myself, Lisa, Ron, and Kyle, we bid you guys adieu and go. Oh God, I'll have to edit this part. How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, come on over to the ledge.
Yes, Lisa.